My wife cheated through text after 5 years together. I quietly planned my exit while she was away and left her a cold goodbye note. I'm 36, and I thought finding a good, honest woman was like discovering a unicorn. You hear about them, but never see one. My personality is direct and no nonsense. Unlike those nice guys who complain about being friend-zoned, I work in construction, my job is good, and I make a decent living, even when I gave my all in previous relationships. I felt like it wasn't enough. I sent flowers without reason, remembered anniversaries, and listened to others. I tried to sympathize and encourage, but I was always hurt in the end. I started to wonder if all the good things and hard work were worthless. Being kind and caring seemed like a burden. I was losing hope in relationships. My belief was that those qualities were no longer valued. Honestly, I didn't look for love. About 5 years ago, I met Emily. She was 33. Nothing special happened during our meet cute. A mutual acquaintance introduced us at a casual party. It was simple. Her smile seemed honest, so I was drawn to it, not fake or forced. I got her number and started dating her after spending the evening talking. 3 months later, seeing each other was joyful. We clicked so well. I always tried my hardest. I remember the outfits we wore that day as clearly as yesterday. Initially, I thought the connection was casual, but I started to like it. This was my chance. I felt like I had discovered the one. Emily was special, although we shared many interests, including hiking and visiting new restaurants. I thought it was healthy to have our own hobbies. I liked fixing old automobiles and going to car shows. It didn't bother me that she found it intriguing. She made many bowls and vases since she loved ceramics. I liked her art, even if I didn't have the patience to do it. It offered conversation and learning opportunities. In the beginning, everything seemed right. Despite being young and still learning, we worked together. It felt natural, like we were building something. We planned and spoke about the future. Our jobs were different, as I'll detail later. Construction is my job. On-site work dominates my days. Even if it's challenging, I'm proud of my honest job. Emily, on the other hand, worked in software sales. Her performance was measured by sales numbers. After working in a 9-to-5 office, her company offered to let her work from home. So she did. I loved it at first. Living in the same home while she worked would provide her more freedom and allow us to spend more time together. I always supported her in finishing her job to get that promotion and was proud of her. We planned destinations together. Personally, I've always considered myself an excellent companion. I'm not bragging, but I try to focus, support, and defend my partner. Impulsiveness, emotional support, and bedroom competence are required. Emily and I worked hard. She seemed trustworthy. I used to worry about my partner lying, but Emily was different. I'm not saying adultery is impossible, but I wasn't worried. I believed we had a special relationship built on respect and trust. Thus, I was deeply touched by what followed. It began softly. Emily acted weird. She seemed odd. It's hard to explain. She was secretly taking calls in another room and hiding her phone screen as I passed. She loved me less and spent less time with me. She always complained about being fatigued, even on weekends when we had plans. I initially ignored it, thinking she was stressed at work. I could tell she was stressed out by her promotion efforts. I kept telling myself, don't jump to conclusions. It's probably nothing. I didn't want to think it was serious. My first thought was curiosity. I wondered why she was so aloof and what was wrong. I had lost sight of the big picture. However, the odd behavior continued. I saw little of Emily for a week, but just enough of those everyday moments kept me going, making me wonder whether I was exaggerating. Suspicions grew. I didn't think she cheated immediately. I suspected she was hiding a personal problem, perhaps a disease. One Saturday night, we watched a movie as usual. She appeared preoccupied, constantly on her phone. When I asked, she insisted they were work emails on a Saturday night, even though she had never done that before. I grew worried, then anxious. Finally, I told my pal Michael. Michael is decent but cynical, especially about relationships. His traumatic divorce a few years ago warped his outlook on everything. When I confided in him, he laughed and said, "Dude, if she's a woman, she can cheat on you. They all have it in them," he added. "You can never be sure. Even if you have everything, a great career and nice appearance." Though harsh, that statement moved me. My perspective was entirely altered. All of Emily's activities became suspicious. My curiosity and anxiousness led me to suspect she was cheating. Michael's words stuck with me. I decided I was done. I couldn't live with this doubt and the feeling that something was wrong. I resolved to find out what was happening. I knew about Reddit, and every internet suggestion advocated checking her phone, so I decided to go that route if things didn't improve. I made a great dinner lasagna, her favorite. While we were having fun, I put candles on the table to create a relaxing atmosphere, hoping she'd feel comfortable confiding in me. After eating, I brought it up. I told her I was worried about her weird behavior and wanted to know why. I asked, "Are you cheating on me?" She seemed surprised. Her shaking hands prevented her from looking at me. Watching her stutter and struggle for words stung. Finally, she denied it, shocked that I asked. She said she loved me, and we had been together for 5 years. Her crying was almost uncontrollable. A complete concert. My trouble was that I didn't believe her. Perhaps Michael's words were ringing in my thoughts. Or maybe it was my instinct it didn't feel right. I expected her to be upset at my accusation, but she wasn't. She looked more depressed. Like she was offended I even contemplated it. I apologized for blaming her, but she accepted it too quickly. It wasn't rational. I'm not proud of what I did, but it was necessary. I pretended to trust her. We went to bed after I apologized again, saying I was being overly cautious, but I couldn't sleep. I calculated my next move. I knew I needed her to trust me again, to find the truth. Her defenses had to drop. Waiting for the right time, I understood what to do. The night would be long. Everything was leading up to what I needed to accomplish. I wouldn't feel comfortable until I knew the truth. The suspicion was slowly eating me up, I thought. If she thinks I'm this stupid, she has another thing coming. I waited until Emily was asleep. My phone read 3:17 a.m. I lay there staring at the ceiling for hours. I was queasy, my heart pounding, but I had to do it. I cautiously removed her phone from the nightstand, got out of bed, and went to the bathroom. I scrolled through her texts after opening her phone. Scrolling through her gallery yielded nothing. Then I checked her texts. That's when I noticed one contact, Harry's Plumbing. Why would Emily keep messaging a plumber? It was obvious, a fake name. I almost laughed at how childish and obvious it was. My world collapsed as I clicked on the conversation. Michael sent explicit messages, pet names, and shared how much they missed each other. Dirty talk and nearly nude photographs were also posted. Emily wrote, "You're making it hard to focus on work. You know." Michael smirked and said, "I can't stop thinking about your smile." Emily posted a photo of herself wearing new underwear with the caption, "Wish you were here to take this off me." It was all black and white. They had suggestive texts and an emotional connection. Without saying they had slept together, just an affair. It lasted at least 2 weeks, matching her unusual behavior. As I read the messages on the bathroom floor, I felt like I could have a panic attack. My heart raced too fast, breathing was hard, and the phone was difficult to grasp since my hands were shaking. I felt like shouting, ruining something, or waking her to confront her immediately. The thoughts weren't pretty, and I won't say more, but I pondered finding Michael, horrified, indignant, and grieving 5 years. 5 years of a falsehood in this relationship. I wondered how she did it. Did anything happen? Did she ever love me? It seemed like my world was flipped. It was good to hear about it before we were married and had kids. I was upset at her method, though the ridiculous emoticons, the childish code names. It felt like I was losing control and my sanity. I knew I had to leave. I had to breathe and determine what to do next. For an hour, I documented everything. I took notes and screenshots to capture it all. Once I had everything documented, I needed a plan. Sitting on the bathroom floor, I contemplated everything, not knowing what to do. My head was full of ideas. I was mad. I considered alerting our parents, putting everything online, or handing out flyers at her workplace. Move out, hire a lawyer, or leave silently. I realized I had power and wanted her to know how much she had hurt me. My finances are solid. Union membership gives me security. Emily struggled, though. Sales wasn't her thing, and her income was low. I knew I helped her live in our expensive city. She would struggle without my pay. Ideas came from this. I knew I could survive without her. Reddit is my current location, totally wrecked and upset. I'm also considering my next move. I don't know how to end it, but I must. First update. Many things have happened since my last post a few months ago. I apologize for the delay. I know many of you wanted an update. I needed time to think clearly and make the right choices. Making this a crisp division was my intention after learning about the affair. The initial weeks were awful. Emily found me cold and uncaring. We slept in separate rooms, and I rarely spoke to her in full sentences. I was too angry and hateful to look at her. I ate little. It was beyond me what she was doing. I learned that it's important to take your time before getting married. And I want to share this with you. I'm glad Emily and I didn't marry. I dodged a bullet there. It merely shows that you can never truly know someone until you've lived with them for a long time and seen their best and worst. This aspect was now familiar to me. I waited. Our lease was up in 3 months, under my name. I thought that would be the best time to act. With more time, I could arrange things, get everything in order, and maximize my actions. Finding an affordable apartment near my job took time. I also had to pack boxes and seek friends for help relocating. I planned, but there was plenty to do. A month after I inspected her phone, Emily and Michael shared a bed. Really, it only made things easier when I found out. It eliminated any doubt or desire to fix the situation. That was the final nail. I've heard that cheaters lose interest when the forbidden part is eliminated. Emily and Michael's relationship may not last. It's a lie-based fiction that's their problem, not mine. I gathered myself after finalizing the plan. In the last month of the lease, it was time to move. I was ready because I had prepared for months. Emily would work late, so I chose a day she said she had a big client dinner. I didn't care, it just gave me the chance. I had already arranged for my friends, including Michael, who knew everything. They were eager to help. For weeks, they told me to move on, that I deserved more, and that they would always support me. Good men. I'm lucky to have them. Their support made me feel better about my actions. We met at the flat early in the afternoon. Most of my possessions were in cartons with clear labels for easy identification. We worked efficiently. These people ran smoothly. The truck carried all my possessions, which made up around 80% of the apartment's contents. I tried to take as little as possible from her cookware, electronics, furniture, clothing, tools. I wanted her to feel my months-long emptiness. I liked that the new flat was closer to work. It was tiny but clean mine. A new beginning. In 4 hours, we moved everything. Considering my wealth, it was fast. I remember touring the apartment before leaving. Emily brought a few pieces of furniture into the relationship, but the walls and shelves were nearly bare. It looked downcast. Indeed, it felt good knowing I was doing this. It fueled a strange mix of wrath and grief, but also freedom. I was free at last. I did one last thing before leaving. A simple letter on paper, goodbye. Enjoy, Michael. The first thought about writing a long, indignant letter to communicate my anger and annoyance. But I decided less was more. This concise, direct message was better. I set the note on the kitchen counter so she would see it when she came in. It's trite, but it seemed right. I considered saying something caustic, but this was enough. I told my friends I could handle the rest, but they helped me unpack some essentials at the new place. I needed time to adjust. After thanking them again, they left. I was lucky to have them. Next came the hard part, ghosting. My phone exploded when Emily got home and found the note. She panicked, sending calls, texts, and messages on all social media sites. In a few hours, she went from furious accusations to emotional pleas for forgiveness. She even tried to contact me through mutual acquaintances, appealing for help, but I never responded. Every phone message and attempt to contact me was ignored. My vengeance was completely quiet. I wanted her to feel confused, apprehensive, and powerless, like I did when I found out about her affair. I haven't spoken to her in 3 weeks since moving out, and I'm enjoying imagining her worry. She must be terrified. Second update. The landlord contacted me on my cell phone a few days after I left. Evidently confused and unsure of what was going on. He must have heard Emily's story, but he wanted to hear mine. I told him everything about the affair, Michael, and how I couldn't live with a cheater. So I left. I told him I wouldn't renew the lease. The landlord was sympathetic. After I had been a good tenant for years, paying rent on time and never causing problems. I think he appreciated my sincerity. I also told him the security deposit would be lost. I didn't want my money back, or to aid Emily. I asked the landlord to inspect the flat and determine if she was entitled to anything. I trusted him to make the right judgment. The landlord then told me, with a strange sense of satisfaction, that Emily was unable to pay for the flat on her own. Her family lived too far away to help, and she had no roommate. She was at risk of eviction and desperately looking for a new home. I was relieved to know that her treachery caused it. I know some people think I'm being mean and that I should feel sorry for Emily, but I didn't. I threw myself into her, was a reliable friend, and helped her, and she tossed it all away for a cheap thrill. She made her choices and now faces the consequences. It's about the hurt and disgust she put on me, not the money, flat, or goods I took. Having the best of both worlds, a hidden affair, and a loving, committed partner, is impossible. The landlord did the walkthrough and contacted me to say everything was great, and my security deposit would be refunded. I was pleased. He also informed me that he had delivered Emily the eviction notice and praised my handling of matters. I thanked him again and said I was pleased to be moving on. I also blocked her and moved on, as advised. Third update. A month after the last post, Emily tried to call me from a blocked number, which went to voicemail. After looking at it, I knew it was her. I returned the call, and Emily started crying. She was sobbing, stating she had nowhere to go and apologizing repeatedly. She sounded discouraged and worn out. She knew she had to admit the affair. She kept saying, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry," offering weak apologies and explanations. She said, "It just happened, and it wasn't my intention. I was confused." It was pitiful. She even brought up our happy times to gain my love back. "You still care about me?" she questioned, her voice cracking. She was desperate and would try anything to change my mind. She said she had nowhere to go and didn't know what to do. I listened to her sobs to help her comprehend the weight of her decisions. I laughed a bit, without humor, with incredulity and derision. I told Emily, "It's funny you lied to me and hid it for weeks or months, and now you want my sympathy." It took me another second to process what I said. "You decided. You destroyed ours. You're feeling the effects." My final blow was lethal. I said mechanically, "You have Michael. Go live with him." I hung up after that, denying her the chance to reply, discuss, or beg, if she spoke. I cut her off mid-sentence. There was no going back. After hanging up, I blocked her on Facebook, Instagram, and all my other social media accounts. I eliminated her internet presence as fully as I did her physical presence from my residence. Despite considering erasing old photos and notes, I kept them for now to remember my hardships and successes. While sitting back, I felt a strange tranquility, no joy or victory, just closure. I felt relieved after months of carrying a load. I justified my actions to myself alone. I said, "I have no idea where she'll go. And, to be honest, I don't give a damn. She made her bed and can rest in it." I grew even more certain that she deserved all her problems because of her choices, not revenge. Without me to cushion the pain, she had to face the truth of her betrayal and lies, which had shattered our relationship. I was conscious of my suffering, the insomniac nights, the terror, and the feeling of worthlessness. No one should go through it. I'd also punish Emily for her actions. If she becomes homeless, she deserves it. That was my last thought, showing how little I cared about her. Thank you for reading. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around us.